Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Peace and blessings wherever you're at. Thank you for coming to join us again today for our daily reading. So let's begin. We are on, we've got several guests. Thank you. Um, we are on chapter 18 of Bereshit Genesis. Now the Lord appeared to him in the plains of Mamre, and he was sitting at the entrance of the tent when the day was hot. And he lifted his eyes and saw, and behold, 3 men were standing beside him. And he saw, and he ran toward them from the entrance of the tent. And he prostrated himself to the ground. And he said, My lords, if only I have found favor in your eyes, please do not pass on from beside your servant. Please let a little water be taken, and bathe your feet, and recline under the tree, and I will take a morsel of bread and sustain your hearts. After you shall pass on, because you have passed by your servant. And they said, So shall you do, as you have spoken. And Abraham hastened to the tent to Sarah, and he said, Hasten 3 of meal, fine flour, knead, and make cakes. And the cattle did Abraham run, and he took a calf, tender and good, and he gave it to the youth, and he hastened to prepare it. And he took cream and milk, and the calf that he had prepared, and he placed before them, and he was standing over them under the tree, and they ate. And they said to him, Where is Sarah your wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will surely return to you at this time next year, and behold, your wife Sarah will have a son. And Sarah heard from the entrance of the tent, and it was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old, coming on in years. Sarah had ceased to have the way of the woman. And Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I have become worn out, will I have smooth flesh? And also my master is old. And the Lord said to Abraham, Why did Sarah laugh, saying, Is it really true that I will give birth, although I'm old? Is anything hidden from the Lord? At the appointed time I will return to you at this time next year, and Sarah will have a son. And Sarah denied, saying, I did not laugh, because she was afraid. And he said, No, but you laughed. And the men arose from there, and they looked upon Sodom, and Abraham went with them to escort them. And the Lord said, Shall I conceal from Abraham what I am doing? And Abraham will become a great and powerful nation, and all the nations of the world will be blessed in him. For I have known him because he commands his sons and his household after him, that they should keep the way of the Lord to perform righteousness and justice, in order that the Lord bring upon Abraham that which he spoke concerning him. And the Lord said, Since the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah has become great, and since their sin has become very grave, I will descend now and see whether, according to her cry which has come to me, they have done destruction, and if not, I will know. And the men turned from there and went to Sodom, and Abraham was standing before the Lord. And Abraham approached and said, Will you even destroy the righteous with the wicked? Perhaps there are 50 righteous men in the midst of the city. Will you even destroy and not forgive the place for the sake of the 50 righteous men who are in its midst? Far be it from you to do a thing such as this, to put to death the righteous with the wicked, so that the righteous should be like the wicked. Far be it from you. Will the judge of the entire earth not perform justice? And the Lord said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous men within the city, I will forgive the entire place for their sake. And Abraham answered and said, behold, now I have commenced to speak to the Lord, although I am dust and ashes. Perhaps the 50 righteous men will be missing five. Will you destroy the entire city because of five? And he said, I will not destroy if I find there 45. And he continued further to speak to him, and he said, perhaps 40 will be found there. And he said, I will not do it for the sake of the 40. And he said, perhaps let the Lord's wrath not be kindled, and I will speak. Perhaps 30 will be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, behold, now I have desired to speak to the Lord. Perhaps 20 will be found there. And he said, I will not destroy for the sake of 20. But he said, please let the Lord's wrath not be kindled, and I will speak yet this time. Perhaps 10 will be found there. And he said, I will not destroy for the sake of the 10. And the Lord departed when he finished speaking to Abraham, and Abraham returned to his place. Wow. I actually really like this one a lot. I am a big. This was really kind of fun, and I'll tell you what my feelings about it are. Okay. We have a little bit of a communication here, just making sure everybody feels welcome. Let's see. I think it's really powerful because it's something that it's one of my core values that I have. I think we all have our own core values. My core value is compassion, empathy, mercy. These are really important things for me. And I feel Mr. Abraham of blessed memory really kicks it up a notch. It reminds me of actually a story that you can find within Islamic tradition too. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But it's like there's this real empathy and compassion saying, hey, yes, you might destroy the city because there's so many bad people here, but what about the good people? And and basically he's kind of negotiating with God and saying, hey, God, please please spare this land. If just, you know, even if we can find a small amount of group of people, just, let's have compassion and mercy over all, the whole community. And I think that is something that is really lacking now, is like really deep empathy, compassion, and mercy. There's an interesting story in the Islamic tradition about the prayers. Muslims were supposed to pray 50 time prayers a day. I don't know how you would do that, especially, people are interested in doing other things. But yeah, the whole thing is it gets negotiated by another Hebrew prophet who basically, I believe it's where it basically gets negotiated down to five. And I think compassion and mercy are so important. I don't know, like I hate to say this, but I see this on like the internet. There's a lot of toxic stuff going on where it's really fixated on, you know, it's about me, it's about my tribe, it's about my group. It's not about people, it's not about love. And I think we need to have that awareness. And I think this text is a really good teaching to help teach people to not be like that. So let's see what else we have. Yes. Yeah. 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 It's an interesting point Because I think the question about doesn't God already know? I think what we're seeing in the text is that there's an intimate relationship between humanity and God, and that humanity can kind of alter the course of what's happening. And I feel that that is in a lot of spiritual traditions, especially if you believe in free will. You kind of have to have that mechanism there. If you don't have that, you're not able to have that. But there's this idea of this interplay between God and humanity. And I think if you believe in free will, then that's kind of a necessity for it. So, um, okay. Any final thoughts before we go into the next one? Okay. All right, we're going to start kicking off the next one then.